Hope you guys support the channel by subscribing and sharing the video with your friends. Wear headphones for a better experience.
The story of me and the genie in the middle of the wilderness. My name is Faisal. I live in the city of Riyadh in my beloved country Saudi Arabia. In fact, I moved here recently. During my first year in Riyadh, I met a group of good friends who live with me in the same neighborhood. My two closest friends are Muhammad and Ali. I am 19 years old, the same thing for Ali and Muhammad. We always used to spend a lot of time together and go out and maybe stay up late at night. And in fact, my life was exemplary, to say the least. As usual in Saudi Arabia, we love very much as young people to go out and hike in various places, including land. Camping in the wilderness for me is one of the sacred things every year. When the summer ends and the temperatures become a little low, I like to go to the mainland, sometimes accompanied by my relatives and sometimes accompanied by friends. But now I am in another place. I have moved from the province of Medina, and the distance is very large between Riyadh and Medina. So I decided to offer this trip to my close friend Ali and Muhammad. In fact, their reaction surprised me. I agreed very much and was excited to go to righteousness and enjoying the moonlight at night. But Muhammad was afraid because he always heard the horror stories that happen in the wilderness. We tried to calm Muhammad and convince him that it is only a trip that will take only 2 days in the middle of the desert where we will be alone. Muhammad was convinced, and we agreed to go to the mainland on Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We determined the location where we would go, and we started preparing our things in order to go. I thought this trip would be wonderful, but I did not know what awaited me. It was time to go, and I went to my car. I went to Muhammad's house, and from then Ali, who seemed to be very enthusiastic, as if he had never been to the mainland before. When we arrived at the agreed site, we found that it was full of young people who preceded us. As I mentioned to you, many love to go to the mainland at this time of year. I didn't know what to do or where to go. Ali didn't delay and told me to go in a specific direction. I told Ali that I don't know where I would go if I followed this direction, but he told me that he knew a place that no one knew, and we would get to a very beautiful place in the middle of the land. Although Muhammad did not agree, but we had nothing else to do but go to the destination that Ali suggested to us. It was the sun was about to set and the road was not clear enough. Suddenly, while I was driving very slowly for fear of hitting a rock or any animal, that happened to me something that froze the blood in my veins. I looked in the mirror to see my friend Ali, who was sitting in the back alone. I saw him looking at the roof of the car, and his eyes were completely white and smiling. I felt terrible and did not pay attention to the road, so an old man stood in front of me and smiled. I went back to look at Ali and found him sleeping, and next to me Muhammad also had fallen into a deep sleep. I woke up my friends and told them what I saw, but that old man had disappeared. I convinced myself that what I saw was nothing but preparations just from how much I drove that day. We arrived at the location that Ali told us, and here was the second surprise. We did not find our tent, although I was sure that I put it in the car. The strange thing is that a few meters away there was a tent, and next to it was a well. It was cold at night, and certainly we will not stay throughout the trip in the car. Ali signaled us to go to that tent and discover it. Maybe it is in good condition. We did not see anyone in the place, and therefore the owner of the tent may have left it and will return in the coming days if there's no problem using it for 1 day only. We had no other choice, so we went to that tent. The tent was very tidy, as if its owner had been in it only a few hours ago. We decided to stay overnight here tonight, and the next evening we would go home. We sat down to eat and started talking about the genie and Ali. Muhammad was very scared. While Ali and I were talking and laughing, suddenly we heard Muhammad's voice screaming, Look there." Ali and I looked and saw nothing. I said to Muhammad, "What did you see, Muhammad?" Muhammad said, "I saw an old man looking at us and smiling from afar." Then I realized that what I saw while driving was not just an illusion, that it was real. But who is this man and what he is doing here in the middle of the desert? In fact, I regretted that I agreed to Ali's proposal and we went to the middle of the land. I did not control myself and told Ali and Muhammad what I saw on the way. Muhammad suggested that we return to Medina and I agreed, but I refused to do so. I am not lying to you. Muhammad and I were scared because we saw that old man, but Ali did not see anything, so he thinks that we are just delusional. In the end, he convinced us to go home and go to the mainland another day. I went to the car and it was a surprise. The car battery is not working. If the car will not work, Muhammad told me to call my older brother and ask him to come to pick us up. So I agreed, but our phones suddenly disappeared. We looked for them everywhere, we didn't find it. I felt more scared. Our only hope was for the owner of this tent to appear. Our biggest problem was in the water that was about to run out. We were in the middle of the desert and certainly no one would reach this distance. I lit a fire and we sat warming ourselves in the tent. Suddenly sleep overwhelmed me. I woke up and it was dark, but I couldn't find my friends. I hurried out of the tent and found Ali walking towards the tent as if he was in a distant place. I said to Ali, "What is there? Where's our friend Muhammad?" Ali said, "I slept and when I woke up I found you and I did not find Muhammad." I went out of the tent and found him walking back following the tracks of the car. He must have felt scared and decided to return on foot. I tried to catch up with him, but I could not reach him because he was walking quickly and disappeared in the darkness. I asked Ali to go look for him, but Ali refused. At this moment I remembered what I saw when my eyes turned white. The water had run out of us, and so I decided to go to the well that is behind the tent. I went to the well and it was shocked. Muhammad was slaughtered and lying in the well. I turned and saw Ali standing behind me, smiling and his eyes white and saying in a thick voice, "Hello Faisal, your friend Muhammad was our booty for this year. I promise you that you will be the booty of next year." Immediately I ran away from the tent. It was dawn, so I decided not to stop running. I followed the right direction. I was an expert in the stars because my brother used to take me to land when I was young. While I was running, to my right was a small hill. Up the hill there was a small house. I saw that old man looking at me, smiling and pointing to me with his hand as if saying goodbye to me. I did not notice that there was a big rock in front of me, so I hit it. I woke up and found myself inside the hospital in Riyadh. My big brother was next to me. Immediately I said to my brother, "How did you find me?" My brother said to me, "Don't you remember, you sent me a message telling me that your car broke down and that your friends had returned with their cars and asked me to come immediately. I went to you and found you in a tent fainting from the lack of water, so bring you here." I returned home and then I found a paper on the desk saying, "Thank God that you are fine, Faisal. Do not forget next year's trip. We will wait for you."
Hope you guys support the channel by subscribing and sharing the video with your friends.